Hi friends, welcome back. So today I wanted to share with you guys a list of plants that I have made that I believe are the most beginner friendly plants and plants that I don't believe are very easy to kill even if you're not great with plants. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, the first plant I wanted to talk about is my heartleaf philodendron. This is pretty much it's kind of the base plant that everyone thinks of when you hear the term or when you hear the word philodendron. This plant, I've had it for a while and I've never really had issues with it. It's not finicky at all. It tells you when it needs watered. It doesn't require too much light. I am planning on posting soon a whole philodendron care video because if you haven't noticed, I really love philodendron. So I wanted to share how I take care of them, but they are super easy. And I think that if you're starting off in your plant journey, that this is a very good plant to start with, especially if you, like me, really enjoy the look of philodendron. The next plant I wanted to talk about is my string of pearls, and I really love the string of pearls as opposed to the string of hearts or string of turtles. The string of pearls, it really tells you when it needs watered because, for example, the string of turtles has kind of thin leaves, so it's not as easy to tell when it needs watered, at least in my opinion. And so with these, I can physically see kind of wrinkling and like that in the leaves when it needs watered, which is very important because string of pearls are more of a succulent plant. So the easiest way to kill them is by overwatering. So if you're looking for a pretty fast growing, low fuss houseplant that is just super beautiful, I highly recommend the string of pearls. Okay, you guys know I could not leave out my Monstera deliciosa. This plant is a beautiful plant. It is super easy to take care of. What I typically categorize as an easy plant to care for is one that tells you when it needs watering. And this plant, just like the other ones, also really does that. The leaves will droop when it needs watered and it doesn't require a lot of care. I will say that it does need a little bit higher light. So if you have a decent window or something like that and you want a good big plant to put into it, then I definitely would say go for a Monstera deliciosa. Okay, the next plant I wanted to show you guys is my Ponytail Fern. Now, when I first started getting interested in ferns, I was super scared that I would not be able to keep any of them alive because I assumed that all ferns were the same kind of, they need super high humidity, a lot of bright indirect light, a lot of water, and this fern actually does not require very much of me at all. I water it maybe once a week, if that, and it's not in super bright light. It's farther away from my window. It doesn't require a lot of humidity. It does have a little bit of crisping at the edge, but that's from when I let it get a little bit too dry. But this has been a very surprisingly easy fern for me to try out. So if you really want to get into ferns like I did, then I highly recommend checking out the Ponytail Fern. Okay, next up is my African violet. I've had this one for a good 6 to 9 months now, maybe even a year. It's honestly kind of hard to remember when I got it exactly, but I've not had very many issues with it. It grows fairly quick. I have had to cut back some of the leaves recently because when I first got it, I put it in a spot that the cats could get to it, and they ended up chewing on some of the leaves a little bit, which obviously I don't want. So I cut off the leaves that they had chewed on a little bit, and then I moved it away from where they can get to it. And now it is doing really well. It doesn't need a lot of water. It doesn't need a lot of light. So I think that this is a great beginner-friendly houseplant. I, of course, also had to mention the beautiful yet simple golden pothos. So I actually have 3 of these plants because I think that they are so amazing. And what I really love about them is that obviously they vine, and they vine really easily and really quickly. So if you really want to get that kind of jungle look going on, then this is a great plant to get because it doesn't need a lot of water or light, as I've said about all these other plants. So it's just very easy to care for. It grows quick. They don't need a lot of humidity either, which is really great because that's hard to establish in a typical household environment. And I just really enjoy this plant. So I'd say if there was one plant that I recommended the most for beginners, it would probably be this plant, just because of how easy it is to care for while still being a very, very beautiful plant. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you were able to learn something about it, and I will see you in the next one.